Before we dive into March's crochet stitch, I need you to pause for a second and count your stitches at the end of February. Okay, we should have a total of 212 stitches on that last row going into March. I counted my stitches periodically through the month because I do that to make sure I'm staying on track. And I noticed after week 2, I personally was off by 5 stitches. I was 5 stitches short. Thankfully, it was an easy fix. If you go and you count your stitches and you find that 1, you're short less than 10 stitches. Let's say you're short stitches, but less than 10, then you're okay. You can gradually add increased stitches here and there. Never in the same spot though, because then it'll bubble and warp. But if it's pure, like throughout multiple rows, you can easily get back on track. But if you're off by more than 10 stitches, I do recommend that you undo your work and you go back and try to find where things went wrong. Now is the time to fix this. If you move forward without fixing your count, you're going to regret it, I promise. Right now, it's just really annoying to undo your work, but if you wait until you're halfway through the project, halfway through the year, and then you realize your blanket is just a hot mess, you're gonna wanna give up. And I do not want that for you. Don't do that to yourself, please, especially after all the hard work that you are going to be putting into this project. We're in this together. I've got you, and my goal is for you to finish this project with a blanket that you're proud of, not one that we have to fix or hide mistakes in later. Okay, let's do this right. So go count your stitches real quick, and when you're ready, let's get into this month stitch. Hi guys, welcome to month 3 of our 2025 temperature sampler blanket crochet along project. I hope that you've been loving January's and February's stitches so far. For March, I wanted to use a stitch that might feel more familiar. But if it's new to you, then I'm even more excited because the stitch is so beautiful and it can be used in so many different ways. March's stitch of the month is the seed stitch, also known as the linen stitch. You'll find me using this often in a lot of my sampler projects because I love it. It's one of my favorites. It's so simple, so pretty. In this project, I do plan on balancing stitches that you may have already known with some stitches that you may have never tried before. And the best part, since we have an even number of stitches at the end of February, for the month of March, this month's stitch is going to be super easy. We'll be able to accomplish it with a 1-row repeat. We love 1-row repeats, right? But before we get started, don't forget to grab your free March calendar stitch card from my website, crochetwithtiffany.com. I'll have a link in the description section below for you, so you can just click on that link and it'll shoot you right over to it. This calendar stitch card has 1, step-by-step written instructions for the linen or seed stitch that you can reference throughout the month, so you don't have to keep coming back to this video. 2, it has a full calendar for the month of March, so you can track your daily temperatures and write any notes in there that you might want to. And it has a row repeat guide for the entire month, so you know what row to be working for that day. Make sure you print yours out or just save it to your device for a quick, easy reference throughout the month of March. Now, if you are new to this project, feel free to join in. It is never too late to get started. In fact, I actually do feel that those of you who are starting a little bit late have a bit of an advantage. You can check out my playlist here on YouTube labeled 2025 Temperature Sampler Blanket Crochet Along Project. Ugh, that's a mouthful. Or you can just go to my website, crochetwithtiffany.com, where you will find there on the top, just 2025 Temperature Blanket. Click on that. All the information that you'll need to know, including setting up for the project, January's crochet stitch of the month, February's crochet stitch of the month, and then come back to this video to watch March's crochet stitch of the month. All right, let's dive in, guys. First things first, check what March 1st temperature color will be, and then find which corner you ended your last row on. We're gonna begin in that corner. Slip stitch the new color yarn into that very first stitch. On a side note, if March 1st's color is the same as the last day in February's color, then you can just go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. No big deal. Now this is just to attach the yarn to the project. And then chain 1 and single crochet into that very first stitch, the same one you just slip stitched into. Next, we're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and single crochet into the following stitch. And then repeat, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and single crochet into the following stitch. I'm going to put the text on the screen of what this will look like in the pattern. So if you are new to reading patterns, you can see what we're doing, you can hear what we're doing from listening to my voice, and you can read the format and connect the dots, so that way when you are referencing your calendar stitch card, you know what is going on, and we have a little unintentional learning going on here. At the end of row 1, you will notice that one stitch is left over at the very end. You're just going to single crochet into that last stitch. You do want to end every single row with one single crochet in the last 2 stitches. Now let's begin row 2, pretending that we don't have to change our yarn color. Start by chaining 1 and then turn your work. Single crochet into the first stitch. And then begin your pattern of chain 1, skip over the next single crochet stitch and single crochet over the chain 1. And repeat, chain 1, skip the next single crochet stitch and single crochet over the next chain 1. And then just repeat that across for row 2. It'll look something like this, super pretty. Now backing it up, let's now show what you would do if March 2nd's temperature landed in a different color temperature range. So go ahead and grab your scissors, cut your yarn, leaving a long enough tail for you to weave in that end, tie off your work, turn to start the new row, grab your new color, slip stitch into the very first stitch to attach the yarn to the project, and then chain 1, single crochet into that first stitch, and begin your pattern of chain 1, skip the single crochet stitch, and single crochet over that chain 1. And repeat, chain 1, skip the single crochet, and single crochet over the chain 1. All right, you've got this. In fact, sometimes the rhythm of this stitch, it gets me starting to sing, making the stitch super easy to remember. But I do want to offer a warning. This song can get stuck in your head, but it's just chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. I apologize in advance. At the end of row 2, again, you will end with 1 single crochet stitch in the last 2 stitches. Also be sure to count the number of stitches that you have in every row. We want to keep the same number of stitches, 212. That includes single crochets plus the chain 1s in every single row. If you're starting to notice your blanket is flaring or caving in, definitely double check your count. Also offering a big caution to this stitch. I did notice as I was working up this stitch, the seed/linen stitch does have a tendency to want to pull inward because of all those chain 1s. The stitches just, they want to tense up, they want to pull inside, and so the sides of your blanket could potentially start to cave inward just because it is so easy to crochet this stitch on the tight side. So please try to focus on crocheting with a looser stitch tension when working up every row of this pattern, so that way your blanket doesn't have those issues with the sides. If you need to, feel free to go up a crochet hook size for the month of March. You're not going to hurt anything, I promise. In fact, it is a really good trick to use, especially if you're noticing that the stitches are starting to want to cave in a little bit. But other than that, guys, all we are doing is repeating row 2 every single day for the month of March. I'm stoked to add the seed stitch or linen stitch to our blanket. The 1 row repeat is super easy, it's beautiful, and it's honestly just a comforting stitch to keep us motivated with this project for another month. Please watch out for the next stitch of the month that will be releasing the last weekend of March. I'll be walking you through April's crochet stitch of the month, so please make sure that you subscribe and that you have all your notifications turned on, so when I release that video, you'll get the notification to go check it out. And while you're down there subscribing to my channel, if you could just tap on that like button, that would be amazing. I want to see your projects. Please post your pictures of how your project is going on social media and tag me, either hashtag Crochet with Tiffany or at Crochet with Tiffany. I love to see your work and I love to celebrate your progress. And don't forget, you can join the free 2025 temperature sampler blanket chat forum to share pictures, see other people's pictures and get inspired, and really be part of the community. The link is already in the description section, ready for you to check out. That's all for now. I hope that you have an amazing month. I hope you really enjoy this stitch. Happy crocheting, guys, and I will see you very soon.